Welcome to Roxtalks, the podcast that helps network marketers grow their business on social media. And in the month of June, which happens to be my anniversary month, PS, and by the way, we are celebrating all things members of Social Stories. And that's the anniversary. It's actually the second year anniversary for the Social Stories membership. So I thought it'd be a great time for you to meet all of these wonderful members, or a lot of the wonderful members inside the group, and get to know their stories, real life network marketers, and how they're doing and their journey that they're taking. And so today you're going to hear from Kat Johnson. Kat Johnson, when I think of someone who's a servant leader and has found a way to flourish and impact and grow a team based on servant leadership, Kat Johnson is the first person that has come to mind, that comes to mind for me. And that is why I was so excited that she said yes, which I wasn't sure if she would, be on the podcast so that you could hear a little bit about her journey and what she's learned through network marketing. Buckle up, because there's so many great tidbits. And what you're going to find with Kat is she is so humble that she does not even realize all the great nuggets she's going to give to you today. So when you listen, be ready to write down or go back and save those spots, the things that she has done to grow her team. And you're going to hear how quickly it's grown and how strong and healthy that team is. It's going to blow your mind. But I know also that you're going to get some great tidbits on how you can do that as well too. So I can't wait for you to meet elite member Kat Johnson. Let's take a listen. If you've been looking at your network marketing business and you're saying, yeah, I'm ready for more. I need a jolt. I need a jump. I need accountability. I need to be around people who are also going for the gold, whatever the gold is and however they define it. I want to invite you to a very special webinar that I'm going to be hosting. Webinar, the name, I know, but we're going to call it a webinar. And it's for those of you who have a goal in mind, but you just feel like you're running around on a hamster wheel and you're not getting there. I'd like to invite you to an opportunity to learn more about what it is to be an elite member of Social Stories and see if it's right for you. It's coming up, details coming soon, but to find out more information, please go to socialstoriesmembership.com/webinar and find out more and be part of a very intimate meeting that we're going to have, webinar we're going to have, where you can ask all the questions, learn all the things, and get transformations like you've been hearing all month. And you'll be hearing from these wonderful network marketers. I'll see you there. socialstoriesmembership.com/webinar. Kat Johnson, it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here on the podcast at last.
At last.
Oh, it's a pleasure. You are someone that you're kind of an OG Social Stories member, actually. You are,
I
right?
am.
Didn't we say that one day? You were like one of the OOGs.
I was your very first something. I don't remember.
Yes.
Social Stories or your annual member.
You were my very first Social Stories member who said, I'm going to commit to you, Roxanne, and whatever crazy things you have going on for a year. Yeah, you were the first.
And now you're stuck with me forever.
I love being stuck with you, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So it's such a pleasure. And I'm going to move this really fast. I love being able to just see you grow, as you've always been an amazing human, but you realizing what an amazing human you are and helping so many other people find their amazingness as well too, which has been fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I actually want to talk about that a little bit. So, okay, let's start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. Tell us how long you've been in network marketing.
Almost 7 years.
Nice. 7-year itch coming your way, huh?
Yeah. I started with Rodan and Fields in 2015, and then I am currently with both of the companies right now. I started with Color Street January of last year.
Wow.
And so it's been fun. It's been fun.
Tell me, when you look back on 7 years, who were you? Like, who was Kat Johnson when she joined network marketing back in 2015?
She was somebody whose husband had just been deployed to Afghanistan. It was the first time that we'd been separated with military before, but it was the first time that we were being separated by a war zone. And the reality of what my world would look like if I lost him, I did not know we were going here. I really hit home And I, at the time, had just piddled with odd jobs. I didn't really have a career.
Mm.
I raised babies and stayed at home. And at the time, I was working at a bank, but I had had no prior experience. And I just was really facing the what if question, and then was introduced to Rodan and Field's business prospect and thought, oh, well, I've been using the products for several years. Let's see what happens. And that's how it all started.
Wow. Wow. So it kind of filled not that any void could be filled when your husband is deployed, but it filled it gave you something to do. Is that fair to say?
Yes, because one of the pamphlets that he had brought home at the time was the do's and don'ts of the spouse to stay home, and one of them was don't start a renovation project, and don't all these long list of things. Do find a hobby, something to pour yourself into, something to distract you. And so the timing was just spot on for that. It was something different to focus on
Mm.
beyond where I was at, with
Yeah.
the possibilities of all that it could be if I needed it to be an income stream.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. And what was it like once you started and joined? Like, were you like, this is amazing, I'm frolicking in the woods, or what was it like for you?
I was scared of everything. I was scared of what people would think if I shared the business. I was scared of what people would think about me selling products. And you have all those stereotypes in your mind. Um, I'm sorry, I'm watching my cat. She's about to attack my light. You have all those stereotypes in your mind of the car salesman and how people feel about salesmen and all that kind of thing. And so I was constantly looking at myself through the lens of what do other people think about me in sales. And that fear, along with all of the self doubt, not believing that I had the ability, not believing that I was worthy of, all the big goals or whatever. It was just a lot of negative when I started.
Yeah, that self-doubt. I always say, and I know you and I've talked about this before, that network marketing really truly is like this whole personal development wrapped up in a pretty package of a product.
Yes, there's so much more to it than sales.
There really is. So you worked through some of these things, but you kept puttering on and you had a pretty great Rodan and Fields business. Isn't that right?
I had a steady Rodan and Fields business. Yeah, uh, you know, I had a growing team. I had a lot of customers. I still have a lot of customers who are that use the product, that love the product, that we all communicate together. Um, in fact, it paid for my smile. I had lost 9 teeth through the pregnancies of my children. My body attacked itself. And so smiling was not something I did
Mm.
regularly. And through Rodan and Fields, I was able to repair with implants my smile. So I like to say Rodan and Fields gave me my smile.
I love that.
Um, yeah, but it was a steady business. I
Uh-huh.
never, I just, it was just steady.
And so, okay, two questions I have for you. One is, what made you decide to join Social Stories? I'm curious. And then I'll tell you what the next one is too, so you can answer them both. Like, why did you pick up another network marketing company?
The first one, I knew, and this is where Social Stories comes in. I knew that my Instagram game was lame. That I didn't understand. I was the spaghetti queen, man. When you use that term the first time in your Instagram challenge, I was like, oh, that is all me, man. It's just whatever pops up that morning is what's going up. And there was no plan. I didn't understand the concept of Instagram stories telling a story. And so that's where social stories are came from. Is it started with your Instagram challenge, and then I just connected with you. You're just relatable. You're my people. You just call it like it is, and you put it in terms that I could understand. And I would get so excited when something that was so obvious to many, I'd be like, oh, she just totally explained that in a way I understood. And so when you introduced the different levels of your program and you were growing, I just didn't want to go anywhere.
Mm.
So that's how my social stories journey started. And then my cat is going to knock my camera over. She is charging all over the place because of cords. I'm sorry.
Let it be. Let the cat do what the cat will do. I
Yeah.
don't know what to tell you.
If it wiggles, that's what it is. Sorry. So, and then the adding a second network marketing, it was not planned. I was not looking for anything. Like I said, Rodina Fields was steady. It was consistent. I had dependable income from that. I loved the people that I was working with. The journey was okay for where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a vendor event and somebody offered me the opportunity to try Color Street. I never wore nail polish unless it was for special events. My hand shakes and it's just not something that I ever took up. But because I am all about supporting the network marketing journey, I let her put a sample on me. And 10 days later, that sample was still there. And I said, well, let me order a set and see if I can put them on myself. That'll be the tale. And I was able to put it on myself. And 10 days later, it was still there. And so I reached out to her because I know how this works and said, hey, let's do a party. I want free stuff. I was not looking. I still was not looking when I asked for the party. And when she asked me, had I ever considered adding another company, I was like, oh girl, no, I'm good. Not interested at all. But in true curiosity killed the cat fashion, I got on Google and started doing research on what Color Street is, what they offered, how it started, what the game plan is, what the business model looked like. And I messaged her back and said, you know what, let's do this. I'll just do it on the side. I'll do it for fun. It'll just be a hobby. I really was not looking for another income stream. The nails were fun. I mean, hello. And so we did that, and I had zero interest in growing a team. And 3 weeks in, just about the end of 3 weeks, I had 4 ladies reach out to me in a 48-hour period about joining. When you have
Wow.
fun, And when they messaged me, there was a delay in response because that wasn't where I was. That wasn't what I planned on doing. And isn't it cool how God just flips that switch? So I spent some time praying about it and thinking about it, and then I was like, you know what? I was not seeking this, but if you're going to bring this way, then we'll do it. But we're going all in, and so we went all in, and the rest is history.
Well, and let's talk about that history. That's amazing. 3 weeks in, 4 people are like, I want to join your team. You're like, what team? I'm just here for the nails. Like
Exactly.
literally, I'm here for the nails.
But
So,
they are so amazing. So,
and they're with you still working the business, huh?
yes, I have 3 of the originals. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So you're about a year and almost a half in.
Yes.
And what does that look like? Can you tell us whatever you're comfortable with telling us about your business now?
We have a team of just under 50. We have reached a team volume of $270,000.
Wow.
I have been able to promote to director in the company. I have strong leader legs because I want to make sure that everybody has that same opportunity. And so the people who are, actively looking to grow, I try to stay as connected as I can with them in that. And we just have fun. We just have fun.
So it's been so much fun watching you take on this because I'm like, Kat, what's happening here? And you're like, I don't know, I'm just doing whatever. And next thing you know, it's growing and growing and growing and growing. And you make it look so simple. However, I'm curious to you because nothing is as simple as it looks. And by the way, let me just say 50 people in less than a year and a half and $200,000 worth of volume or 200 is amazing. So congrats. When people ask, can you really make money off of nails strips? I guess the answer is yes.
The answer is yes. But as with anything, it's about your work ethic, your effort, your training, you're willing to train, the hours that you put in. That is network marketing. And so it is a job. It'll pay you like a job if you work it like a job.
So true. So I'm curious. First, because one of the reasons I really was excited about having you on, just not only because you're just a light and it's so fun to hear all that you've accomplished, is Something that I noticed is you have been very team focused over the last year and some change. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yes.
Was that a conscious decision you made when you had 4 people come to you and say, "I'm in"? How does that work? How did that come together?
Um, like I said, I had no plan on growing a team. Um, and when I worked through that weekend, and then I decided to go all in. I know what it feels like to not believe in yourself. I
Mhm.
know what it feels like to not be seen or feel like you're not seen. Um, I know what it feels like to have self doubt. I still struggle with those emotions. Those are very real, everyday emotions that I have to get up and make a decision every day to choose joy, to choose to believe that I'm here for a purpose. And because I know what those feel like, my prayer, you're going to have me crying. My prayer for my team is for me to help them see their value and what they have to offer, because it's more than nail polish. We invest in people's lives every day. Our customers who are in our VIP groups are more than just a sale. They are people that we have an opportunity to touch and bless and encourage and be a light for them. And so I don't ever want anybody to stay in the land of self doubt. And so I pour very much into them from a heart of encouragement, because I want them to see what they can be when they believe in who they are.
Mhm.
And sometimes, when we're raising babies, and this is a weird analogy, but it makes sense in my head. Um, when we're raising babies, sometimes as mamas, we can be stronger for them than we really are. We put on a brave face, and we put on our mama bear outfit, and we're doing the battles, and we're leading the way, and we're all the things for our kids. And I've noticed, for me, I find strength from being strong for my team.
Mm.
And so if my job as a leader is to lead by example, I can't tell them to believe in themselves if I'm not willing to do the same thing. And I can't tell them that their customers are more than just a sale, that it's about relationships, if I'm not leading by example and building those relationships with my customers. And so for me, pouring that into my team and loving them where they are for the goals that they have on their journey. And I have this wonderful mentor whose famous saying is, "You're not behind, you're right where you're supposed to be." That is so true, and they know they know that saying. So I just feel like when I decided that weekend in February of 2020 to go all in, I wanted it to be more than just sales.
Mm.
I wanted to motivate and encourage and create a community of women that just love each other. And we have, and this is probably way more than you wanted, we have our team page on Facebook, but we also have our messenger thread. And when I explain it to new people on what the difference is or what they are, I let them know that our Facebook page is our community where you put up the encouragement posts and the next challenge, or keep everybody informed on what's going on with the company and all the things. But Messenger is where we're family. We do life together there. That's where we've got prayer requests shared, and something funny happened with our babies, and whatever. So we do life together in Messenger. And I love them. I love my ladies. They're my sisters.
I love that so much. Um, community does not happen without intentionality. And you have clearly from day one, when you committed to this, you've definitely made it that intentional. But for some people who are wondering how, do you just a couple like pieces of advice? Because it sounds great, but they might be thinking like, but how do I do that? How do I show from the get or from now, if I didn't do it before, um, that is my intention with everything I do with my team?
Mm.
Like, how did you start that?
Well, for me, the way it started was I constantly looked through the lens of what it felt like to be on the other side. I constantly was asking myself, okay, this person's new. what do they need? Where are they at? What are they looking for? But it was constantly, I don't know how to say it other than in serving them, I constantly look through the lens of what I would have needed in that position, is
Mhm.
where it started. And then as I noticed the repeat questions, like as people would sign on and they would ask the same types of questions over and over again, I had a growing list of, okay, this is what they need. And then I started putting some tools in place so they can find those easier. Um,
Mhm.
but that really, I mean, that's the core basic is I always was looking through the lens of putting myself in their shoes.
Empathy.
Yeah,
Um,
there you
that's
go.
pretty that's pretty huge though, because we it's easy to forget that, right? It's easy
Yeah,
to forget it, just like in sales, putting yourself in the shoes of your customer or your potential client.
yeah,
What are they looking for? What do they need?
yeah,
Same thing with your team because they are your clients. Your team is your community, but you are serving them. They
yes.
are your clients in a lot of ways. What did your experience in network marketing prior to joining Color Street? How did that color, no pun intended, how you went about this new journey?
Well, again, with Color Street, I was not looking to grow a team. I wasn't looking for a new business. I was just going to have fun with some pretty nail polish and the small community that we had built around my launch party. But when that weekend, I call it my magic weekend in February happened, and I decided to go all in. For me, all in meant I was the master of training with Rodan and Fields. I watched training all the time. I was looking for the magic bullet. Hindsight's 2020. I was looking for the magic bullet. What
Mhm.
is the magic thing that they're doing that I'm not? And essentially, it was the fact that everything they were training on, they were doing, and I was listening to. And
Mhm.
so a lot of the training fundamentals, and it's just core business, practices, serving, being a servant leader, being a servant to your customers, your mindset. My mindset is my biggest war room. But that magic weekend in February, it was more than just all in for my team or whatever. It was also all in about applying the things that I had learned in those first 5 years. Um, and then plugging into you, and there's a couple others that I stay pretty connected to, and applying what I learned. And
Mm.
if we can train all day long, but if we're not putting it in practice, it's serving us. It's nothing. We're not doing
Yeah,
anything.
so true. So it's almost like you went to network marketing university for the first 5 years, and then you were ready to go out and conquer the world.
Well, it really is. One of my business partners with Color Street knows my journey with Rodan and Fields, and she had been through a lot of the same things, and she's the one that pointed out where a lot of that training is stuff that I have been able to implement. So it's a decision to do and not just be, I think.
Mhm. Mhm. So how do you've created an amazing community, but you can create an amazing community and the community doesn't grow.
Yes.
So how do you encourage growth in that community and that team that you've been part of?
Um, I don't know that I have. I mean, I don't know that there's any one thing that I have done. I'm going through the stuff.
Yeah.
I I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a magic answer for that. We have 47 on the team, but there's an ebb and flow. If you add up all of the people that had joined from the beginning that we started, we had 56. So there's 9 people missing right now. Um, 29 of those I think came from me. And I don't know that there's any one thing that I've done except lead by example and
Mhm.
consistently show up for trainings, for the sales. I work on my volume just like I do, encourage them to. I work on my recruiting. And I think leading by example is the only answer for that, because there's not really anything that I've done, because it's not about me. I talk to them about what they want out of the business, and then we go from there and set goals at each individual level. So I'm
You
sorry, but there's not
no,
anything done.
no apologies necessary. There's so many great nuggets you said in there, believe it or not. But one of the things you said is that you talk to them and you find out what their goals are. Um,
Yes.
and that's the basis of whatever you do with them is helping them reach their goals. Is that right?
Yes, because everybody comes into this for different things. Some people are in it for a hobby, something fun to do because they love the product and they just want, to be able to get them faster than anybody else or make commission. Some people are just looking to build a mad shoe fund, and some people are in it for business. And you can't set business goals and benchmarks for a hobbyist. They don't want that. And so you work with them at the level they're at. But yeah, there's not any, I don't know. I'll have to
You
think.
know, no, well, I think part of it is your humility. So there's that. But I'm gonna go back to what you just said about the benchmarks, because what you just said is actually very counterintuitive to how most network marketing companies or team leads run their business. It's all well and fine, and you're like, yeah, let's find out what their goals are. But ultimately, you have goals. Am I right?
Yes.
So, what do you do to make sure that your goals don't trump the goals of your team members?
I think because every day I start, I don't know if you can see it on the board. Um, I love God, my family, others, and myself, and I'm on the bottom of that list. And it's not that I'm any less valuable, it's that I want to make sure that I see other people and their journey and where they're at first.
Mhm.
And it's just there in front of me every day, right at my desk. It's like right in my, it's literally intentionally right above my computer, because that's what I want to be. I just want to love people where they are. And sometimes loving them where they are means no sales. But to hit my goals, I tell my team, I don't ever want anybody to feel guilty or obligated. Like when they apologize for not hitting a milestone, don't apologize to me. Um, I have to make my sales. I have to do my recruiting. I have to do all the things you do. I have to show up for trainings. Don't apologize to me. You're running your race, and let's do you and help you get to the goals you want. And I just love them where they are. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, it sure did. And you made me think of the national championship Baylor University men's basketball team. Yes, I'm biased, but their whole mantra this year was joy. And
Yeah.
joy stands for Jesus, others, yourself,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is exactly what you just said. And so they choose joy. And I love that. It's amazing when you do that, what it creates in others. You were talking about how you want to inspire them and show them and empower them, show them what's possible for them. And you do that every single day. It's literally fun to even talk to you about, you and I will be talking about things. And you're like, well, you don't even make decisions for your team as a person of one.
No.
You talk to us a little about that. Like, how do you guys make decisions for your team?
Decisions
Like
about.
I remember when we were talking about a logo,
Oh yeah.
gosh darn it, you weren't going to choose a logo on your own.
No, I did not. I haven't done anything in this business on my own. I didn't even name my customer group on my own. Partly because my creative genius is slim to none. And I am the most unoriginal person in the world. And I just couldn't come up with anything. And so I put it to a vote in my group, and I let them choose a bunch of names. And then I put it up for a poll, pick the top five. And anyway, so my customer group is the same. But with my business, I knew when we started, all we had was a messenger thread. And right from the very beginning, in an effort to communicate to them that we are all in this together, because I was only 2 weeks older than the four that signed. I mean, we were all brand new to this. I named the messenger thread Growing Together. And so it was an effort to communicate, hey, I'm not going to have all the answers right now, but I will find the answers. So ask the questions. Never be afraid to ask the questions. So growing together is where we were at. And then from there to April, and in April, we had 7 new people. And the weight of responsibility that I felt to make sure that they had what they needed to start strong and not feel left behind was very real for me. And I was like, I can't be all the things for all these 7 people at one time. And they weren't even all my recruits, but doggone it, they were on my team. So I wanted things in place where they could do that. And so I was like, all right, we're going to do a team page, and I want the educational units in there, and I want to be able to break down in very specific boom, boom. I not recreate the wheel, but give them one place they can go find the things they need on the wheel. And it took them to corporate trainings and all the things. But if you create a team page, you have to have a team name. And again, my creative genius is horrible. And so I went to my ladies and I told them, I said, this is what I want. I want our name and our team to represent grit, grace, and gratitude. We are growing together and I want those things in there. And so we started throwing out like G3, I think was one of them. G3 is for grit, grace, and gratitude. G3. And I think at that time is when I hired your group to do the logo, and I had sent you G3. And then it occurred to me that we forgot growing together. Grit, grace, gratitude, and growing together. That's another G. So then I sent it to you and I said, no, let's do G4. And we were, the whole time we're still talking about it in our team thread because it still wasn't sitting. And plus, when you think G4, you think of a cell phone tower. Hello, 4G, G4. I think you pointed that out to me.
Yeah.
I think I said 4G, and you were like, well, that's cell phone. Anyway, and so I took that back to the group. So we're still chewing on this, and we have Air Force members and military people in our group. And Karen, one of the leaders on our team, had said, what about G-Force? And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. And so that's where G-Force came from. And we are growing together with grit, grace, and gratitude.
I love that.
And it's just stuck. And it really defines the women. I have an amazing community of women who build each other up. They welcome new people with open arms. They answer all the questions. And I have been very intentional about empowering. My goal is to empower them with knowledge. You can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, but dang it, if you teach that man to fish, he'll eat for life. And so I have been very intentional about empowering them to have a voice in that community so that they can be a part and just share the knowledge of what they've had. And I don't feel the pressure of being the one to have all the answers because I don't. And there's a lot of times I have to reach up my upline. Okay, somebody just asked this. I'm not sure what this is. And we have such a great community up too that we just all work together. So yeah, the name came as a group collective because Kathy is not creative.
No, it's because Kathy, Kat, whatever she wants to call herself, believes in community. You could have, there's other ways you could have come up with a name if you weren't creative, but you believe in community and the buy-in, whether you did that intentionally or not, the buy-in from a group of women who got to choose what they're going to be called and really are a part of what it stands for. That's huge. It seems like such a little thing. And yet when I look at, and just not only the growth and the size of your team, but the healthiness, that's a word, right? Of your team. It's because of these things that might seem little that you keep and you continue to do, which I think is phenomenal.
I just want everybody to have a home there. I don't care if you sell $1. I don't care if you sell $2,000. I want everybody to have a home because, again, back to the original root, I know what it feels like to feel like you don't belong, to not have a place. And I don't ever want anybody to feel that way. Sorry.
No, don't apologize for your emotion. It just shows how much you really care and love them. And I think it's so important. You know, it's easy to forget how we felt when we don't feel that way anymore and forget. You don't you think? It's easy to forget that. And you've made a conscious decision to always remember that, even though feeling that way brings emotion like this to you, like it does right now, you've made a conscious decision to remember that so that anyone who joins your team never has to feel that way.
Yes. Yes.
I love that so much. Oh, Kat, you're amazing. Question, how does social stories, how does that help with what you're doing with your team?
Oh goodness. A lot of the mindset things that I struggled with you had names for them, with fear and self-doubt and spammy
Amy
whatever.
Tammy, Scared Sandra, multiple
Yeah, all of those were qualities that I could identify with because I had been the spammy Tammy. And the training techniques are different from both network marketing companies. Again, my journey with Rodan and Fields, I will never ever regret. But the training styles are different, and you helped with my mindset for me to identify areas that I struggled with, why I struggled with them, and you wouldn't let me live there. I remember sitting at the computer having a one on one with you, and I was trying to go into the land of woe is me. And you put a big detour sign up there, and we just rerouted the whole conversation. That's really what it felt like in that moment. I was like, well, she didn't even let me get to the woe is me part. Because it was like you're going, okay, feel that emotion, but what are we going to do with it? Where are we going with this? And I don't even know that you realized that you did it that day, but I was definitely fixing. We were doing something with Trello, and it just. I think that's why I identify with you so much is because you're not afraid to let people be real and authentic and who they are, but you won't let them stay in the land of woe is me, or I'm not able, or I can't, or I'm behind, all those negative things. And you help reframe the thinking. And I'm sure it's from all of the training that you do and the others, but you impart that wisdom to the people who are following you because you love them well. And and you just, I don't know.
Now you're making me cry.
You do good, sister.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. I need a moment now. Jeez Louise, Kat.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay to feel that emotion.
Did someone tell you that recently?
Very recently.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm okay. I just care so much about you and I care so much about everyone in social stories. And I know not that I talk about often, but I know what it feels like to be in a network marketing company and feel like I don't belong. And to feel like, darndest that I try to belong, one of these things is not like the other. And it's a really lonely feeling that no one should ever have to feel.
Agreed.
Um, and so I do my darndest to make anyone who feels like, gosh, something doesn't fit or this doesn't make sense, and I'm not in a neighborhood or an environment, excuse me, where I'm allowed to say that, to have a place where they can really be strong in finding themselves and who they are as a business person, as a CEO of you, and not feel like you have to be a lemming or feel like something's wrong with you if you don't fit
Right.
in. I never want anyone to feel that way. And I want people to know that you have everything you need inside of you to be successful, however you define success in what you're doing in network marketing. And I think that's, when I'm with you in one-on-ones or with groups and I hear people almost in some ways beat down. Is that fair to say? Because it can beat you down. Network marketing is awesome. It's amazing. But it also can be a tool that's used for harm. And anyway, I'm jibber jabbering. What do you want to say?
Well, no, I agree. I agree. And in fact, I just had this conversation with our team I love Messenger because I can do those little 1 minute encouraging snippets. I also have a love hate relationship with that because it only gives me a minute and I have to do it
You have
again.
to pay attention,
But
look at it. Yeah.
but uh, network marketing has the potential to keep you on a roller coaster of emotion if you let it. And if your emotions are tied to your sales, then it's going to ebb and flow with the positive and negative, and that's not healthy for any of us. And I
Mm-mm.
have to remind myself of that all the time. When it's the 20th of the month and I haven't hit the goal that I have set for myself, because I set all those little pink sticky notes on my board, those are my goals. I set goals just like I challenge my team to set goals. And if I let it ebb and flow, the ebb and flow of sales dictate my emotion, then I'm just going to stay in a constant state of flux. And so I
Mm.
have to see past that. And I
Mm.
remind my team to see past that. And what is your end goal? What is the long game? And just keep going. Because sales is hard no matter what industry you're in, no matter what industry.
Absolutely.
So,
I saw a shirt someone was wearing on Instagram and it stuck with me and I think it's freeing. The shirt said, "I'm not for everyone." And I'm like,
amen.
how great is that to
Yeah.
actually not feel like you have to be for everyone, but you are for the people you're for and being the best you and not being attached to the outcome. So now, like if someone doesn't buy something from you or doesn't join your team, you're not for them. You're not for them. They weren't the person you were for. It's not, I don't know. To me, it kind of removes that rejection attachment that we have to outcomes because we cannot control the outcome.
I think the
When
favorite that I have ever heard that has stuck with me that I again remind my team, I love my ladies. And so when it's something that I've struggled with and I find something that helps register and get me past that, I absolutely will share to them because I want them to get past it too. But my favorite was the example of the waitress who comes and offers you
Mhm.
a glass of tea and you tell her no thank you, she's not walking away ticked off because you told her no about the tea. She's going to come back and check with you again in a few minutes, and if you're still not ready, she'll come back and check again in a few minutes.
Mhm.
And it you weren't saying no to her, you were saying no to the tea in that moment. And then when you got ready, she was there with it. And so
Mhm.
if we take that no personally, it shuts the walls down and throws us on the defensive. And then we're constantly from a place of negative instead of encouraging and loving people where they are and saying, okay, shoot, I couldn't teach kindergarten or preschool. That's
I
not
do
my jam.
I
That is
do love
not
the
my
tea analogy. However, if I was a waitress and I was serving queso and you said no, I would take that personally. Like that would be personal. Just saying. Or take personally. What do you mean you don't want queso? Come on. No, I think that's you're so right though, that detaching ourselves from that. And I love again, like there's so many nuggets from what you're saying. The fact that you give your team a bit of you, your voice even, right? When you do minutes of encouragement it makes a difference. It makes
Yeah,
such a difference, especially when we're all, I mean, most even before the pandemic, most network marketing teams are not all in the same place.
right.
They maybe even be international. And so I love that little tidbit that you put in there that you shared. What else do you want us to know about the world of cat and the team juggernaut that you are?
See, when you say that, I don't feel like that's me.
I know,
Like,
that's why I intentionally say it because it makes you feel uncomfortable, and it
it
is you
does.
are. Well, that's okay. I mean, we can juggernaut, the team champion, the
Yeah.
team expert, the team what else should the
I
team
think
queen. I'm gonna keep going with them, how they
I
feel.
no, it still makes me feel icky. I like leading from a place of I know where you are, and I like like I started the year by sending every one of them individually a message saying, "What are your goals for this year?" So that I knew how to serve them where they are because all of our goals are different. It's not, I don't come from a place of what is it for me. It's for them. I don't
Mhm.
want anybody. Like when they signed up for this, I want them to find a community I want them to meet their tangible needs for whatever they need. I want that for them. I can't do it for them, but I want it for them. And I want it so bad that I take that um, very much to heart. Sometimes, and you and I talked about this middle of last year, because I was very much feeling the weight of responsibility. And when they would get frustrated about not meeting their goals, I was feeling guilty because it felt like I let them down. And we talked through that. And so now I come at it from a place of I can give them those pieces and that information, and then I can cheer them on and help them, if they have a sales idea or whatever, I can be that sounding board for them. I can be their cheerleader. I can be Mama Bear. And it frees me up to be the best me for them without feeling guilty. And so I just love them where they are. And I love my girls, man.
You do, and it shows. I love this so much. Kat, thank you so much. Where can we find you on social media if we need to find you? Because we need to find you.
On Instagram, This is Kat Johnson. On Facebook, it's Kat Johnson. And that's really all. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I don't have a TikTok yet.
No dancing yet. We're waiting for it.
I don't have all the things. I'm mostly on Facebook. But those are my two handles. This is Kat Johnson and Kat Johnson.
Love it.
If you're looking for nails, it's Kat's Nail Nook. So
Kat's Nail what?
Kat's Nail Nook.
Nook. Got
Doesn't that sound homey?
It does.
That was my customers that did that. And I'm not going to lie, when I opened it up and I said, I need ideas, and they were spitting out the ideas left and right, when that one popped up, I'm like, oh, that is so my name. And when they voted it all the way through, you'll be proud of me. I did make an executive decision because it came down to that one and one other one, and they voted for the other one. But I was like, okay, you're both going to win because I had offered a prize. But this one has just gelled with me from the beginning. So this is where we're at. Make an executive decision.
That was a good executive decision on your part. I love that. Kat, thank you so very much. It's been fantastic. And you can check her out. This is Kat Johnson. That's with a K on Instagram, or Kat Johnson on Facebook, or Kat's Nail Nook. Love that. Thank you. And keep doing what you're doing. It matters.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being amazing.
It's our anniversary. It's our anniversary. Yes, I'm singing. Why am I singing? Because it is the Social Stories membership anniversary. 2 years this month of June, which is unbelievable and so exciting. And I'm humbled and just again, exciting because I get to see transformations of network marketers like you all the time. So I thought, what's the best way to celebrate our anniversary? Oh boy. And then I picked all of the ideas, and we're doing all of them. For the Roxtalks podcast, I'm excited to share with you that this month you're going to get to hear from actual Social Stories members who have been in the community for various amounts of time and learn and hear about their journey. I'm so excited for you to listen to what they've got cooking. And here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Take a listen and ask yourself, is there a transformation in what you're hearing from them that you would like to have? Is this a space that you want to be in? And the reason I say that is because it is our anniversary month, and I want to invite you to a very special, sounds like an after-school special show, right? A very special webinar. Every week this month, I'm going to be doing a live webinar where I want to get to know you, and I want you to get to know me. And I want you to get a chance to know the Social Stories community and see if it's the place where you need that word, flourish, need to have to flourish. Yes, I'm rambling, but go with me here. I want this to be an opportunity for you to see if Social Stories is right for you. And if so, you're going to have a special opportunity to join us as part of the anniversary. So if you're interested, if you want to know more, if you're ready to take your business to the next level, if you have a need, yes, I use the word need, that we need to work on, right? Whether it's, golly gee willikers, I'm so tired of being my best customer, when Social Stories might be for you. If it's, I'm ready to grow and recruit and get more people doing the same thing I'm doing. Social stories may be for you. If maybe it's, I want to be in a community of people who care about me and are supportive of me and help me become a better network marketer and a human. Social stories might be for you. So come to the webinar, hear a little bit more, ask any questions you have, and see if you want a little more of this in your life. Simply go to socialstoriesmembership.com/webinar. All the information will be right there, and I cannot wait to see you at the webinar. Remember, we're doing at least one each week. All the details are going to be on there for you, and I cannot wait to see you live. Take care. Okay, you know that I'm not above crying. It's a thing I do and I've done on the podcast. But by Jove, by golly, gee willikers, I did not expect to be made to cry. Kat Johnson had me emotional. You can see why she's someone that I just knew that you needed to meet and get to know. And so thank you for listening to this week's podcast and all the things. Behind the scenes, what's shaken bacon? Well, we're recording this in May 7th. So Mother's Day weekend is coming up. So I'm excited to celebrate my mom and my sister who's a mom, and also from afar, that is, but also we are a week out from our vacation. Vacation, dun, 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 dun. Vacation time to get away. We are ready. But I'm almost like, oh my gosh, so many things to do. But it's been really exciting to get that going because it's happening, y'all. I'm going to be on the beach very soon. And while I love you and don't worry, the podcast, well, you'll know because it's past by the time you listen to this, still going on. I'm really looking forward to that. And it reminded me that vacations are something that I think we took for granted pre-pandemic. And now, I mean, I want to say I didn't take it, but I think we took it for granted in a way. Not that we don't appreciate vacations, but for a year or the better part of, depending on who you are, to be told that you could not go on it was not a thing you could do. It's so exciting and exhilarating to be able to go. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I promise you, I'm going to even appreciate the long plane ride. I will love it. I love it. So there's that. And I got to apologize to my wonderful podcast team because I'm wearing a necklace I clearly shouldn't be. So I'm sorry, guys, for hearing that clank, clank, clank. Forgive me. So that's what's going on in the world of Roxanne is that, but also the idea that my poor baby girl dog is she's not going to be with me for a week and I'm going to miss her desperately. So I can't wait to come running back to her. I'm like, she doesn't know. They don't know. My sister's going to be watching her. So she's going to be A-okay and be in good hands. But man, I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss that pup. Can't wait for our reunion. That's what's going on in the world of me. And also for those of you who have scooped up the Reels templates, they actually, when we're recording this, they came out 2 days ago, and that people have been scooping them up like wildfire. And I'm so excited to see the Reels that they're making from them, the time they're being able to save, and the efficiency, of course, because, Reels got to be doing 4 to 7. Thank you, Instagram. A week. Hard to do. The Reels templates are helping them with that. If you haven't grabbed them, if you want more information about them, you can just go to socialstoriesmembership.com/Reels and you'll get the information there. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you so much. Also today, we just had 2 different rooms inside of the Social Stories Club on Clubhouse. If you're not part of that club, join the club. And here's one of the great things about the club too. Every Friday at 9:30 in the morning, we have the Roxtalks podcast live. So if you listen to the podcast, get yourself to the Clubhouse room because what we do is we talk about the episode. So the episode comes out on Wednesday. We talk about anything you grasp that you want to talk about from the episode. We're there talking about it. We're discussing it and bring up anything you want as well too. So it's like a podcast community. So I highly encourage you to join that. And also remember, if you want access to be able to get anything we talked about on the podcast, if you want to be able to search it really easily and get right back to where Roxanne, that's me, or someone brought up some amazing thing, like Kat Johnson said that really great thing about teams. I need to find that. There's a database. It's free that you can have access to. All you need to do is go to roxtalkspodcast.com, sign up there, and you'll get the special secret database that will allow you to put in any word and find at any spot that we've ever talked about it on the podcast. So it helps you as you're growing your business and you're becoming the CEO of you. So definitely check that out. All right, you guys, you are not ahead. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. So happy that we're here together. And I will see you next week for another episode of Roxtalks. Take care.